Welcome to Dixon V Fitness. In this video, we're going to do a natural or not on Alpha Destiny. He's probably one of my favorite fitness YouTubers of all time, and for more reasons than not. However, the real question is he natural? Now, for these natty or nots that I do on my channel, I normally determine the results of the person based off of 3 criteria. Number 1, stats. Number 2, time training. And number 3, aesthetics. And based off of that criteria, I will decide whether or not I think the person is natural. So for those of you who don't know, Alpha Destiny, also known as Alex Leonidas, which is his current channel name, is a fitness YouTuber. He bases his principles on strength training and getting as big as possible as a natural. He is probably one of the most credible sources when it comes to bodybuilding and strength and sort of how to maximize your gains as a natural fitness enthusiast, practitioner, whatever you want to call yourself. In fact, I would say that anybody who's new to fitness should go immediately to his channel. Either him or maybe Greg Doucette, but for the most part, he's probably the best YouTuber for fitness that I've ever come across. So let's get into things. Let's go over the first set of criteria, which is stats. And these are probably the most accurate stats that I have because I actually asked him directly and he told me directly these stats. So his height, he's about 5'5", and that is based off of his own word. I commented on one of his recent videos, and he told me he is in fact 5'5". So for anyone who's unclear about his height, you can use this video as the most accurate source. So that is his height, about 65 inches. Weight. So this one is a bit confusing because he's never the same weight, kind of like me. I'm never the same weight. However, as a general rule with him that I've noticed over the years is he tends to bulk up to about 185 pounds. And when he bulks up, he does get a bit fluffy. He doesn't get fat, but he gets a bit thick. So that is a good sign for him if we're going to try to diagnose whether or not he's natural. So he bulks up to about 185, and when he cuts down to the lowest I've seen him is 148 as of recent, but dry, like perfectly pure dry without salt, water, or digestive contents in his body. That's probably closer to like 145. So he fluctuates between 40 pounds here and there, which is a lot, which is not a good sign for his natural status. But those are his stats. And if we plug these numbers into the FFMI calculator, that gives him a score of about 23 or 24, I believe. We'll just go with 23 as the lower number. So well within the natural range, and considering that, he's very experienced, this is something that's on his side with his natural status. Let's move on to the next criteria, which is time training. I don't know exactly how long he has been training for, but I would say it's fair to say that he's trained probably for over 10 years at this point. Maybe even 20, because I know that he's older than me, and I'm 27. Say he started in his teens. Wow. Yeah, there's a possibility he's probably been training for 20 years. However, regardless, that is something to take into consideration is, he's put a lot of work into things, and as everyone knows, natural fitness takes a long time to build. This is why I always say it's important for younger people to get into fitness as soon as they can and start building themselves more and more each year. So that's a good sign, is that he's been training a long time and his physique is not crazy looking, which moves on to the next criteria, which is aesthetics. As far as aesthetics goes, there's not a whole lot of things that stand out to me a whole lot. He doesn't, now, he talks about, like, the fact that, like, he tries to build a, old school bodybuilder physique when he's trying to get leaner or something along those lines. He's more so into, like, bear mode, right? That's kind of like what he's known for. However, he also, like, mentions the fact that, like, having good proportions is to your advantage. However, his proportions are actually not all that impressive. I would say an Adonis index score for him is maybe 1.2, 1.3, which is not really good. Ideally, you want 1.6 or higher. But I would not give him a very high score with that specific subcategory of aesthetics. He does not have the best proportions. But, that aside, he has some insane size for a natural, which is a form of aesthetics. He has extremely good shoulder insertions and genetics. I mean, if you look at older videos when he was, like, just lifting, when he was only doing body weight, he still had cap delts even though he was, like, super skinny. That right there is a sign of very good genetics. As far as just, like, body fat distribution, also, yeah, very impressive. He pretty much perfectly has the distribution of his weight throughout his entire body. So he doesn't gain fat in one particular area. It's just all the same, which is very ideal for bodybuilding. However, I will say, the cap delts, that does kind of raise concerns for me, because cap delts is, like, normally a sign of steroid use. However, it's also genetic, so there's that. And also, one more thing, which was kind of a red flag to me, is that he actually has been balding since, I think, like 2016, which is a bit concerning. Now, again, that's also genetically influenced, but the fact that he's been balding and the fact that he's now completely bald is very much a red flag. However, with all this criteria considered, do I personally think that Alpha Destiny, aka Alex Leonidas, is natural? I do think that he is natural. But, and I will sort of end this video with a sort of side rant here, is that the average person cannot look like him. The average person should not they should not compare themselves to him, or really anybody, but especially him, because he is very much genetically gifted. The average person, especially of his height, is not going to be able to attain as large of a look as he does. I would say subtract 20 to 30 pounds from that, and that's a bit more ideal for you if you're, it's similar size as him. However, he still gives good advice, and if you want to get really strong, he's great to take advice from. However, like the bodybuilding side, he's not the best for advice on that kind of stuff. So, that being said, hope you like this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I also have had this for a year. I have Patreon, so if you want to support me on there, you can. I have a link in my bio. See you in another one. Peace out.